All right, guys, good evening. Today we are going to be talking about America's entry into Vietnam, and without a doubt, the most controversial war that the United States has ever taken part in. So, our learning targets for today, there are two of them. I can describe why America will start getting involved in Vietnam, and I can explain how the Vietnam War gave expanded power to the presidency. Okay, so here's China right here, which is already communist. So remember, we talked about this idea of the domino theory. We don't want all of these countries all becoming communist. So now, we are going to look at a lot of different things here, and some of these things are going to be confusing. As long as we can hit our two learning targets, that's all I care about. Everything else will kind of take care of itself. So, some quick Vietnam background. So, Vietnam is a French colony. It had been for hundreds and hundreds of years, and it's a French colony all the way into the 1900s to about 1941 when Japan takes it back, or when Japan takes over Vietnam during World War II. But then after World War II, so 1946 pretty much, France gets it back. And France will have it back until 1954 when Vietnam gains its independence. And it gains its independence because of a group known as the Viet Minh. Okay, now the Viet Minh is basically the Vietnamese Communist Party. Okay, so it's the Vietnam Communist Party, and they lead an uprising against the French to gain their independence. And the leader of the Viet Minh is a guy by the name of Ho Chi Minh. Okay, so the reason these two are boxed is because it is super, super important that we understand Ho Chi Minh and the Viet Minh Party. Ho Chi Minh is the leader of the Vietnamese communist group. The Viet Minh is the actual communist group itself. So, in 1954, Vietnam gains its independence, and you guys probably won't be able to see this. I'll try to use it with a different color. Okay, that little line right there, you guys can see that I'm circling. The one that says DMZ right next to it. That is the split between North and South Vietnam. So here we have North Vietnam, here we have South Vietnam. North Vietnam will belong and be ruled by Ho Chi Minh and the communists, whereas the South will be led by a gentleman named Ngo Dinh. We will help and support Diem because he is not a communist. And so once Diem cancels the elections and once he proves to be super, super corrupt, we see the emergence of the Viet Cong. And the Viet Cong is a group of communists from South Vietnam. Okay, a group of communists from South Vietnam. And this is who we are actually going to fight against. So Ho Chi Minh is in the north, the Viet Cong is in the south. Ho Chi Minh will be supporting and giving materials to the Viet Cong. Now, the U.S., even though they want to help Diem, he proves to be so corrupt that we actually lead a U.S. coup against Diem and assassinate him. That's just how corrupt he is. And so what we're going to see is that we take out Diem, we try to put other people into his place. It doesn't work. South Vietnam is in chaos. It is primed to be ready for a takeover. Okay, so how it's decided is going to happen. The election of 1956 in Vietnam is... So, during this time, it's around 1961. Okay, JFK is in the White House. JFK tries to send military personnel to train South Vietnam soldiers to try to help them out. It does not work though. So LBJ, what he basically says is, we're done. We're out of here. It's not worth the time and the effort. We got to get out. We got to let them do their own thing. If they become communists, they become communists. It sucks, but we're not going to waste time, energy, people here. Well, unfortunately then, JFK gets assassinated. And LBJ comes into the presidency during 1963. And during that time, LBJ was thought to be soft on communism. And so he decides to stick with it. He decides to get more involved with Vietnam. And his reason is right here. If I let the communists take over South Vietnam, then my nation looks like an appeaser. Again, we cannot give in to communism. Okay, so this is an extension of the Cold War. I mean, this is the Cold War being fought in Vietnam. Democracy, communism, the U.S., containment, all this stuff is the exact same. Okay, we cannot give in to communism, and that's why we get more involved in Vietnam. Because it gives the president additional military power. So what we're going to see is during the Vietnam War, which lasts approximately 10 years, is that we never actually declare war. Because Congress is the one that has to declare war. So in World War I and World War II, Congress is the one that declares war. In Vietnam, we never declare war. So we fight a 10-year war without actually declaring it. And part of that has to go with the Tonkin Gulf Resolution. And this is going to be an extremely, extremely important thing and a huge parallel to 9/11, because in 9/11, we don't declare war either. And we'll look at this more in class on Friday, but this is a huge, huge thing because it adds additional power to the presidency. Now, the last thing that happens is something known as the Tonkin Gulf Resolution. So in August of 1964, there are U.S. boats off the coast of Vietnam, North Vietnam in particular. And these boats get shot at. And so what happens is, all right, so quick review. Can we explain why the U.S. was involved in Vietnam? It's pretty easy. Communism. And can we explain how the president received additional power? If we can talk about the Tonkin Gulf Resolution and how Congress gave him additional power, which the president will eventually use when people don't want him to use it. If you guys can kind of come up with these, we'll explain, especially this, more in class tomorrow. But if you guys can just come with those basics ready tomorrow to go in class, we should be good to go. So have a great night, and I will see you guys on Friday.